Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be the flick through for White Dwarf issue 510. We've got some new stuff for the Lord of the Rings range, which I'm excited about. Lord of the Rings was my gateway drug into Warhammer, I suppose you could say. So yeah, it'd be nice to have a look and see what they're producing. So come and join me on the desk and we'll have a look through. Hey lovelies, so Warhammer White Dwarf issue 510. We have Ride for Rohan on the front, Middle-earth strategy battle game. This is because we've had the War of the Rohirrim released a little while ago on, was it Prime? But just a couple of things. We get our mission and battle plan for this issue, and we also get some cards. So we've got some cards for the Lord of the Rings. We've got Halath, Prince of Rohan, Hammer, Prince of Rohan, and General Targ. And then we have several, oh sorry, I'm missing this one, right, so Wolf, High Lord of the Hill Tribes, and I think these two are blank, but on the other sides of these they are blank. And then we have some new cards here, command point cards, stratagems, etc. Let's just check out what the magazine says. Included with this issue, hero cards to track might, will and fate in Middle-earth strategy battle game. Stratagem cards for a new way to play Warhammer 40,000 and scenarios of the month for 40k and Age of Sigmar. So there you go. Right, so that's what those cards are. Planet Warhammer, we are looking at hobby news and letters and miniatures from you, the readers. So we've got Indrasta here, the Celestial Spear. And I'm not sure I like this bluey armour. She looks lovely, but I think when I finally get round to getting her for my Stormcast, I think I will keep her traditionally gold. Have some Blade Guard veterans there, Black Templars, a Venom Crawler, Empress Children colours, according to the thing. Short article about somebody recreating Fred Reed's Howling Griffins from White Dwarf 180. And then we have a Space Wolf Rune Priest, Jelson Darok. We have Gore Chosen of Drom by Rudy Bigand. And then we have Thorin's Company by Dave Barker. Dave Barker Herden. Nice. And then we're into The Road Goes Ever On, a celebration of Middle-earth strategy battle game. So it does kind of delve into a little bit of the history here of the battle game. This was my entry into wargaming. I collected the part work, the strategy battle game of Middle-earth part works, and collected the miniatures each week for that. It was great. I loved it. Unfortunately, I've lost the magazines and many of the miniatures. But yeah, if I could go back, I would have put them somewhere safer. And it was great because obviously it was released with the Lord of the Rings, and the Lord of the Rings trilogy kind of overtook. They became my new favourite films, taking over from Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But just, you know, the miniatures are also fabulous because they're of that 28mm scale that easily transfers over to Dungeons and Dragons. You know, so things like ruffians that you can buy, the Moria goblins can stand in for goblins in D&D. You get trolls, so on and so forth. I have a painted Eowyn figure that stands in for, or stood in for, my character in the last campaign. So yeah, there's plenty of crossover for the miniatures, not just for Lord of the Rings. We then have a battle report, Battle for Edoras. So the Muster of Rohan, and then the Marauding Hill Tribes. And these new miniatures, are they new miniatures? They look like they are new. They look like there's a kind of a mix of the old poses and new with these guys on the Rohirrim of foot. And then we're into the gameplay. And I actually preferred the how it's not turn by turn, but the sequence by sequence, I suppose. Because each turn there's a sequence of events that take place in, for example, Warhammer 40,000. Yeah, you know, so you get a turn, you do everything, and then your player does everything. Your opponent does everything. Within the strategy battle game, it was I move, they move, I shoot, they shoot, I charge, they charge, I fight, they fight. That's how the turn, the rounds were mustered, as it were. And I actually preferred that. Clash of Blades, battle report. So we're carrying on. The two heroes coming to blows here. The Usurper Unleashed. Oh, excuse me, sorry. The Valiant Rohirrim. Fall of the Young Prince. Edoras in Flames, turns 7 and 8. Doesn't look like they fared well. Bringing the Race of Men to life in Middle-earth. So yeah, I mean, some of these miniatures are very reminiscent of the older style miniatures, like this guy with the spear over the shield, this guy pulling an arrow from his quiver, this guy loosing an arrow. Some of them are very reminiscent of the old poses, and some aren't. Some are really nice, really dynamic in their pose. Some miniatures which I think are really nice. I think I will get myself a Hera, Daughter of Helm. I'm assuming she's going to come as a 2-box miniature in the same way that Eowyn did. I love this. And, you know, the way that she's set up there, wearing a cloak and, like, travel clothes, and she's got baggage on the horse, you know, that's ideal for adventuring in D&D. And then you have the Hill Tribesman coming at you with his pitchfork. Snow Troll. That is cool. It's a cross between a troll and a billy goat gruff by the look of it. Then we're into the Ancient and Eldritch, Eldari. Walk the path of the Assyriani in this huge designer's notes. And this is looking at the history of the core range for the Eldar as they were previously known. It's got the Doom of Mimera here, 2013. That's a really good book for people that are interested in expanding their Eldari knowledge. Assyriani aesthetic, the miniatures through the years. So, Rogue Trader, Space Elf, going from these, and then that was the last incarnation, 1999 Guardian Defender, and then 2022 Guardian Defender, which is the most recent. I like their War Walkers, and I like their tanks. Farseers, so half of the Seer, half of the Outcast. So these are Rangers. I've got these two kits. They came with a box set against, I think it was Chaos Space Marines a few years ago. And these are really nice miniatures, really nice. The Anrath and Hosts of the Dead. I think the Wraith Lord could do with an upgrade, and again I think the Wraith Guard could do with an upgrade. They look good, but I feel that they're kind of cartoony. I don't know if you understand what it is I mean. They look like how I would expect them to look in a kind of anime manga setting, rather than battle automata in the 41st millennium. And it also may just be the way that they get painted. I mean, this static pose here doesn't help. I've posed mine slightly differently. If I ever get another one, I will try sorting out a running pose. But yeah, I think there's room for improvement. The one I do like, though, is this guy. I didn't realise that this Wraith Knight is actually a plastic kit. I thought this was one of the Forge World resin Titans that they do. But no, you can buy the Wraith Knight as a plastic kit, and I'm so here for it. That's going to go on my wish list, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to pick one up. Twilight Cavalcade. So, Harlequins. You got Harlequin Combat Patrol here. And again, I'd love to do Harlequins, but I just don't think that my current painting skills would do them justice. The checkers, the diamonds, the patterns. I'd need a hell of a lot more practice at doing that sort of thing before I was confident enough to actually do something. But it looks like you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data cards here. So Void Weaver, Sky Weavers, you've got a troop, and then you get Knight of Evanfall and Alineth Shade Spinner. So you get 2 characters here. You get your troop, your troops, which are the troop. And then you get some Sky Weavers, which will be your fast attack, and then your heavy support here will be the Void Weaver. And then some information on Twilight Cavalcade. Stratagems, command points. Then we're into aspects of war, strategic supremacy, unleash exigency stratagems. in games of Warhammer 40,000. Even in conflicts that span multiple star systems, victory or defeat can hinge on a single pivotal battle. In such situations, the opposing commanders will doubtless unleash the full might of their armies, the best of their forces, the heaviest and most deadly of their war machines, and the full weight of their intellects are brought to bear upon the foe. Inspiring strategies and daring tactics are employed with the intention of bringing the enemy to their knees as swiftly and terminally as possible. Often such battles eclipse all others, resulting in near-apocalyptic engagements that have been known to determine the fate of entire campaigns. So what have we got? So these are the exigency stratagems, which are these guys. So break the line, crushing advance, inescapable augury, valorous charge, targeted demolition, enhanced ammunition. We have interception, hit the deck, and victory or death, and hammer blow. Worlds of Warhammer, narrative characters in the mortal realms, part 1. If there's one thing that the Age of Sigmar has in abundance, it's characters. From lowly gits to all-powerful gods, the mortal realms are replete with protagonists and antagonists around which to base your games and explore the background. There are certain characters that are especially useful in providing a viewpoint into these turbulent worlds, characters who have the appropriate level of agency but aren't so fundamental to the setting that their every deed has cosmos-shaking consequences. So there you have it. This looks like it might, on some of the kind of like witch hunter characters and stuff like that. Looking at these guys here, they look like witch hunters. And then Flashpoint Nashka, the Iron Sons for Age of Sigmar. So this is like some background fluff into that Flashpoint. Talking about Uruks of renown there. And then back to War. This is a little bit of fiction by the look of it. Let's get crumpin'. Dakbad Grot Kicker. So we have some war scrolls for a character here. And some battle traits, artifacts, spell lore, prayer lore for forming an Iron Jaws faction for your army. You can choose it. You can choose for it to be an Iron Sons army of renown. If you do so, use the faction rules on these pages instead of the Iron Jaws faction rules. Every unit in your army must be drawn from the units listed in the roster options box below. Roster options box is here. So you have Dakbad Grot Kicker, Mega Boss, War Chanter, Weird Knob, Shaman, Brutes, Brute, Raggers, Weird Brute, Tyrant, Ogre Gluttons. You'd include Regiments of Renown. No, you cannot include Regiments of Renown. In addition to the above, for each unit of Brutes, Brute Raggers, or Weird Brute Wreckers on your army roster, you can pick one of each of the following units. So Ard Boy Big Boss, Ard Boys, more Grunter Gougers, more Grunter with Hacking Crew, and Gore Grunters. Okay. Hobby Hangout, talking about painting Uruk skin. I don't like this pale green tone. When I don't collect Uruks, but when I come to paint the orcs for Combat Patrol, and I have some other orcs that I've collected over the years, they actually have quite a darker green skin tone. I do like Krondis though. I need to finish him. Basic training. So what are we on for basic training? Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Walk, run, retreat. Exploring the ins and outs of movement. Okay. Look out, sir. Sir, where are you going? An aggressive defense. And so on. And then you have your scenario, which they will give you some answers for in the back of the magazine. Black Library, Tatters of Hope, 5 of 5. So we're finishing off the Black Library serialization of this particular story, which I haven't read. How bad is that? The Tatter Shields, inspired by the Tatters of Hope serial. Black Library editor Richard has converted and painted Kazakin from the story. So these have gone for a blue-grey colour scheme, which kind of reminds me of maybe an urban colour scheme. They've done some paint call-outs here for you. And then you've got access granted, challenges, it's elite units for March, and then April with Psychos, Sorcerers and Supernatural. And then we have the car show for your speed freaks, or whatever it is that they're doing. That drag racing. That one looks good. I particularly like these great big tracks. Yeah. Loving this orc truck loaded up with squigs on the back. I can just imagine them rocking up and then release the hounds, Smithers. That's interesting. Is that one of the Leagues of Votan? It says here, I kit bashed a Leagues of Votan Sagittor into a half skimmer by swapping its rear wheels for the Magna coils from the Hernkin Pioneers. And then he's painted it red with black spots, hence why it is called the Votan Centaurus Ladybird Coupe. There's a trike. Tuk number 2 by Nathan, and it's basically a sentinel body put on a trike. Put on trike wheels. Fantastic. So yeah, loads here. Now this is colourful. This was given best in show. Zinch Dragster. Yeah. I can see why that was best in show. There you go. And then War Scroll Skirmish Mode. This scenario of the month. Getting started with War Scrolls Skirmish Mode. So in this month, we're introducing a fresh and accessible way to play Warhammer Underworlds for you to dive into. War Scroll Skirmish Mode is a new Underworlds format that brings fast-paced tactical action to your gaming boards. Designed for both newcomers and seasoned veterans, this mode focuses on the heart of the game. Your warband's unique abilities and strategic combat, all with the need for decks or additional... all without the need for decks or additional setup time. Cool. Satellite uplink, showing off your elites. These are nice. Vargeists. I like those. You see, again, I'd be looking at those and thinking, I can put them in D&D. Big bats, giant bats. Werewolves of Angmar. They are nice. I like those. Some really bright yellow Eldari there. And some Inner Circle Companions by Pete. Which chapter Then are they for Dark Angels? Painting my inner circle companions in the heraldries of different Dark Angel successor chapters. Yeah, there you go. So there'll be including the Angels of Defiance, Angels of Absolution, Consecrators, Bringers of Judgment, Guardians of the Covenant, and Penitent Blades. And then White Dwarf Bingo. And your answer to Order Sir. So, I hope you enjoyed that flick through. I particularly liked the Ride for Rohan, Everything You Need to Know About Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game. I did read that. It was really interesting, but I am a fan of that particular game. And then we have our cards. And we had our missions. So, Furnace World for Warhammer 40,000. And Power in Numbers for Age of Sigmar. Right, hopefully you will join me in the next video. I'll see you then. Take care.